Good morning, everyone. I am Sonam Dubey, Assistant Professor in SART Bhopal. Now, today I have discussed about the topic computer networking. So, welcome to the lecture of computer network. Today, I will discuss about what is OSI model and what are the characteristics of its different layers. Now, the OSI model is a layered architecture model or reference model, and the full form is Open System Interconnection Model. The OSI model basically describes how information travel from one software application to another. The OSI model basically consists of 7 basic layers, each layers having different characteristics and functionality. The OSI model firstly developed by ISO, that is International Organization for Standardization, in 1984. Now, before going to start, let us understood what is the purpose of OSI model. So, we are going to establishing a communication network between different systems. The two different systems means it may be either two different computer systems, two different operating systems, or even two different devices. A very good morning to all of you. I am Sonam Dubey, Assistant Professor in SART Bhopal. Now, today I have discussed about the topic computer networking. Now, today I will discuss about the OSI model. The OSI model basically stands for Open System Interconnection Model. It is a reference model that basically describes how the information moves from one software application to another one. Now, the OSI model basically developed by the ISO, that is International Organization for Standardization, in 1984. The OSI model basically divides the 7 smaller and manageable tasks, and each layer is assigned a particular task. Now, these are the basic layers of OSI model, in which we can see the physical layer, data link layer, network layer, transport layer, session, presentation, and at the last application layer. Now, these are the 7 layers of OSI model. Now, the first one is physical layer. The physical layer is the first basic layer of OSI model, in which we can see in this diagram the information and the data is converted into the binary form, that is 0 and 1, and it just moves from transmission medium from one sending device to another. Now, these are the functions of physical layer. The first one is line configuration. The line configuration is nothing but a way how two or more devices can be connected physically. So it may be either point to point and multi-point. And the next one is data transmission. The data transmission basically defines the mode of transmission. So it can be categorized into simplex, half duplex, and full duplex mode between the two devices. Now, the next is topology. The topology basically defines the way how network devices are arranged and organized. So, in the computer network, the topology is of basically 5 types, that is bus topology, ring topology, mesh topology, star topology, and tree topology. And at the last, the signal. The signal determines the type of signal used for transmitting the information. Now, the next one is data link layer. The data link layer basically is the second most important layer of OSI model, in which we can see the data is in the form of frames, and when data is come from upper layer to the physical layer, it is just converted into the frames, and the process is known as framing. Now these are the functions of data link layer, in which we can see the framing, physical addressing, flow control, error control, and access control. The framing is nothing but a translation of physical raw bit stream into the packets, that is known as frames. And the physical addressing, just in data link layer add a header to the frame that contain the destination address. Now the next is flow control. The flow control is the main functionality of data link layer. It is the technique in which constant data rate at both the side when the data is sent from sending device to the receiving device. The next one is error control. The error control mechanism is the most important technique of data link layer, in which data is recovered by using several methods like CRC, that is cyclic redundancy check. And the last one is access control. Access control is nothing but when two or more devices are connected to the same communication channel, then the data link layer protocols are used to determine which devices has control over the link. Now the next one is network layer. The data link network layer basically accepts the data in the form of packets. Now these are the functions of network layer. The function of network layer is internetworking, addressing, routing, and packetizing. Internetworking is the main responsibility of network layer. It basically provides a logical connection between different devices. Now the addressing means the network layer just add the source and destination address to the header of the frame. And next is routing. Routing is a major component of the network layer. It basically determines the best optimal path among several paths. And the last one is packetizing. Packetizing means it just receives the packet from upper layer and convert into the packets. The next is transport layer. The transport layer basically accepts in the data from the upper layer and converted the data into packets. And just divide the packet into small segments. Now these are the functions of transport layer: service point addressing, segmentation and reassembly, connection control, flow control, and error control. So in this slide we can see flow control and error control. This is already done by the data link layer and network layer also, and one another is connection control. The connection control is nothing but it basically defines two main services: connection oriented and connection less services, and the service point addressing and segmentation and reassembly. Now the next one is session layer. The session layer basically responsible for synchronization. That means it just receive the data from upper layer, that is presentation layer, and it just synchronize this data into small packets and send to the lower layer. Now these are the functions of session layer. The first one is dialog control and synchronization. The dialog controller is nothing but the session layer just act as a dialog controller that create a dialogue between two processes or two different devices. And the synchronization means the session layer just adds some checkpoints when transmitting the data in a sequence. If it finds the error, just remove that particular error. Now the next one is presentation layer. In the presentation layer basically responsible for encoding, encryption, and compression. So when it receives the data from the upper layer, it just apply these techniques into particular data and send to the receiving device. Now these are the functions of presentation layer: translation, encryption, and compression. And the last one is application layer. The application layer basically responsible for various types of application like file transfer, management, mail delivery, directory service, and other services. Now these are the function of application layer. File transfer, access and management. The application layer basically allows a user to access the file in a remote computer, to retrieve the files from a computer and to manage the files in a remote computer. And the last one is mail services. An application layer basically provides the facility for email forwarding and storage, the directory services. The application provides the distributed database sources and is used to provide the global information about various objects. Now, thank you everyone.